So I'm Mar with the Honey Pop, and I'm here with Georgia Webster. Hi, Georgia. Thanks so much for chatting with us today.
Hi.
So let's
Thank you
just,
for
yeah, of course. Let's just jump straight into this. We talked to you a few months ago, actually, for a Q&A style interview
having
on the website, and you kind of told us what it was like growing up in your small town and how you started learning guitar to Taylor Swift songs and stuff like that. But we wanted to dive in a little deeper at the beginning of this interview today to see like what made you who you are now. So like what made you pick up that guitar in the first place?
well, Dad played guitar like as a hobby. He wasn't doing it as like he's not a musician or anything, but he would just like play guitar around the house to like Grateful Dead songs and stuff. And I just was like entranced, and I thought it was so cool that he could like play these chords. And so he ended up kind of teaching me like the first like G and like all like the basic chords and everything. And I just really loved it. And I guess like from there, I started like teaching myself like Taylor Swift songs and like just songs that I really liked. And then like right off the bat, I started like really enjoying writing like my own music more than playing other people's music.
Um, and as a songwriter, were you interested in writing like before you started playing the guitar, or did it just come like naturally with the learning of
I
it?
was.
You
I
were.
wanted to be like an author for like the longest time. And in third grade, I was like obsessed with like Harry Potter and J.K. Rowling and everything. And so like I have like a book in my closet that I wrote that a book that I wrote in like fourth grade. And I was just like set on being an author for like the longest time. And even throughout like middle school and everything, I really wanted to just be like a writer. And then I realized that I could put music and writing together, which are my two favorite things, and do
Yeah,
that. And then I kind of like got into that more.
that's awesome. When we also know that TikTok like really helped you get your start in the industry. But when did that like realization really kick in for you that this is like what you're doing, like you're in music now?
Yeah, I was like, it was weird because like, I mean, TikTok really was like what got me discovered. And so when the labels and stuff started reaching out, it didn't really feel like real to me because I was still like, it was during COVID. So I was like back in Hamden, Massachusetts while all these like labels were like zooming me and stuff. And I was like whatever, like nothing's gonna come of this.
Yeah.
And then like the more songs I started posting, the more people were reaching out. And I think when Sony like offered to fly me down to Nashville, I was like, this is for real. Like I'm actually doing this. Like this is not just a take. Like I had been wanting to do music forever too, and I was planning on going to school for music in Nashville and everything. So when they flew me down, I was like, this is for real. And I have been wanting to do that forever. So it was kind of like a dream come
What
true.
was your like reaction when you like got that info that they were gonna like fly you down to Nashville? Can you like take us back in time and tell us like what happened in the moment?
Yeah, I was like, oh my God. I was like freaking out. And so they flew me and my dad down, and my dad is like my dadager, and he would like set up all my gigs and everything. So he was like so excited. And I sang for like Randy Goodman, who is one of like the big people at Sony. He came like in the room with me, and I was like freaking out. I was so scared. And they ended up saying like in the room like that they were gonna sign me. They were like talking to each other in front of me like we're gonna sign her. And me and my dad looked at each other and we were like,
It's happening. This is actually happening.
Yeah.
That
So it
must
was
have
like
been
really
amazing.
exciting. It was really cool, and yeah, it was definitely like one of the best moments of my life so far.
And well, congrats also on your debut EP release that came out last month. That also of course happened once you got your start and stuff. Um
Yeah.
so you included Push and Pull and Tell Your Mom, which were already singles before the EP release, but I really loved that last track, Box of Memories.
Oh, thank you.
It's probably because I also have like an actual box of memories and I keep everything like in one place together. What inspired you to write something that could be full of like such personal like items and things?
Yeah, I was like looking through my box because I have a box of memories, like a legit one under my bed too. And I was like looking through it one night, and I just kind of like I don't know, I just feel like it's kind of a weird feeling when you're looking through it because it's like some things are like it's like a good memory, but it's also kind of like bittersweet, like reminiscing on all those things, like
Yeah.
past relationships and stuff like that. So I just thought it was like, I was like, dang, like this is kind of like weird looking through this, looking at all these old memories, and I kind of just wanted to like, right. I didn't know if people would relate to it. I was like, I wonder if anyone else has a box, but a lot of people apparently do have the box memories.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually really surprised too. I was like, that makes me not feel so weird that there's
Yeah,
a song
like not
about
like a
this stuff.
stalker.
Yeah. So you did mention that a lot of the items you talked about in the song are like about like an ex-lover and stuff about those bittersweet memories. But what's your most prized possession in your box?
Ooh, that's hard. My One Direction diary.
Ooh.
No, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I have this like it's a gold like oyster charm that's like I got when I was probably like 9, and I used to believe that I was a mermaid, like legit, like believe that I was a mermaid. And that charm, like I used to think it like transformed me into a mermaid, and like my mom got it for me in Cape Cod, which is where we have a house at the Cape, which is like a beach town that's like in Massachusetts. And so it's, I don't know, it just brings back a lot of memories, like when I look at it, of like my childhood and stuff like that, which is kind of like, wish
Yeah.
I was still young and thought I was a mermaid.
Time flies by so fast, like you
It
don't
does.
even realize.
It
I feel
really
like
does.
that's a pretty prized possession. What's something in there that you would that someone else would probably think is kind of silly to keep, but like it's really memorable to you?
Oh, well, I have, like, I did have a school picture of one of this a guy that I dated for like probably like a week. It wasn't even like, I didn't even really date him. It was like when I was younger. It wasn't even like a real relationship. But his mom like gave me like a picture, like a school picture of him, and
Oh,
like I it wasn't even like really, I just kept it in the box because I was like maybe one day like, and
yeah.
so it ended up being like he had like a birthday party like a few weeks ago, and I ended up going to it, and I like gave him the picture back. And this is from like 7th grade, and I gave it back to him. I was like, your mom gave me this when we dated in 7th grade. But I think people would probably think that was a little stalkerish.
I mean, his mom gave it to you, so it
Yeah.
was a gift. But I feel like that I connect with that. I feel you
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
that
I just had to
one.
keep it. You never know.
Yeah. And another thing I feel like that really brings back that like nostalgia and those memories is music. What are
Yeah.
some songs that like really take you back to the past? And if you have any memories like surrounding them?
My grandparents like loved ABBA, and like my whole family loved ABBA. So, my grandma used to play like Chiquitita for me, and they used to have the DVDs of like the music videos. So
Yeah.
they would put them on their TV screen, and we would like me and my like my grandma would like slow dance to like all the ABBA songs and like dance around. So that's definitely like one of my greatest memories with music. And then my mom loves Keen, so like Somewhere Only We Know. Um, she would like always play that song in the car thing, and I was like obsessed with them when I was like 5.
Those are some pretty solid tracks too.
Yeah.
Um, your other track on the EP First Goodbye, that's also the title track of your debut EP. What about this track made you choose it for like that title track?
Well, this was like the most recent one on the EP that I had written. I only wrote it like literally like a few months before the EP came out. And I just feel like it kind of like summed up like the whole thing really nicely because it kind of like explains it. I don't know. I just feel like the whole thing's kind of like a very like nostalgic, like reminiscent. I wrote them all during my high school years, so I feel like it kind of just like sums up my high school career nicely and sums up like the whole EP kind of in a good way.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see that. And can you share like the inspiration behind that track, First Goodbye?
Yeah, that one I wrote. I was on vacation in Florida for like 3 weeks, and me and my boyfriend we've been dating for like a while, and we were just like, this is so hard, like the long distance thing, even though it was only like 3 weeks, and I was gonna be moving to Nashville in a few months, so we were like, how are we gonna do this? Like this is awful, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, we kind of broke up for like 10 minutes, and so like during that time I was like so upset, and I was like, do we break up? Do we stay together? Like, do we do long distance? Like, I didn't know. So that's kind of like the inspiration behind that song, and like if freedom and growing like are worth being alone. Like I felt like I didn't know like if I should be like living out my teen years, like breaking up with him, being free, or
Yeah.
just like continuing our relationship. So that was kind of the inspiration behind that.
And all that emotion in just like the short time, like it definitely hits hard, that track.
Yeah, thank you.
Um, what's
But
your favorite lyric from it? Do you have one?
from the EP or from the song?
You can do either.
Mm, that might be one my favorite line. If freedom and growing is worth being alone, because I feel like that's something I've contemplated a lot.
That makes sense. And your other track, Ugly. So like I'm dying to know, was this inspired by like a person or was it just like the concept itself?
It was a person. I was like, there was this guy that was so cute, like so attractive. We all know those guys, like so attractive, and like everything seemed perfect from the outside. I was like, I can't believe this guy likes me. And then like the second that I started going out with him, I was like, why.
Yeah,
This is why he doesn't have a girlfriend. But I feel like there's a lot of those people, and I feel like it really like nothing really matters besides like who you are on the inside, and if you're not really like a good person, it really can show from the outside as well.
definitely. And I feel like people they forget that a lot too, but
Yeah,
it really
totally
does matter. With
does.
this being your first EP, what did you think of like the whole process of just like creating it? Was there anything that you thought was done differently, like in the industry, than it actually is?
Um, I felt like it was like, well, I was in Massachusetts the whole time and I wasn't living here yet and I was still finishing school, so I had to go back and forth and kind of like record the vocals, and then Paul, my producer, would like do the production like while I was in Massachusetts. So it was kind of like a very like I guess like online. I guess it was kind of like a very like it wasn't like we were doing everything in person, and I feel
Yeah,
like the next like album or EP that I put out, it will be different because I'll be here and like be able to like work everything out. But it definitely took a longer time than I thought it would. I thought that EPs took like not that long of a
yeah.
time, but it definitely took a longer time than I thought to get it all out.
That's cool. And what have you like learned so far from your music journey that you think will stick with you forever?
I think that I've learned that like, especially with TikTok and stuff, that you just can't get like caught up with like social media and like the likes and everything, because it really does start to like bug you after a while once you start getting caught up in that stuff, and it can really like affect you. So I've definitely learned to just like keep remembering why you like it, even though that's probably really cliche, but you just have to keep remembering why you're doing it and like not get caught up in that stuff.
You know, that's a really great like lesson to stick with you, like no matter what journey you're on. That's
Even yeah, exactly. Even not with music, like with anything, I feel like social media has kind of become like a hard thing to handle for everyone.
yeah, definitely. Especially while everyone's been like stuck inside, like on their phones and
Mm.
stuff. Yeah.
Totally.
um, so what's next for you, Georgia? Like what can fans look forward to in like the coming months or like next year?
Yeah, so I'm going on tour with Ingrid Andress, who's like one of my favorite singers, one of my favorite country artists like ever. And so that's going to be in September through December. And then I'll also be releasing some more songs really soon. I'll probably be releasing one next month,
Oh,
which
so
is
I'm
cool. So,
excited to
yeah.
hear that new song. And I know like you can't anticipate like how it's gonna be playing in front of like crowds, I guess like that big. But
Yeah.
is there like
Fair.
anything you're doing to like prepare for that or
Yeah, I have to. Well, I'm still getting together my band and everything, so for like ASAP, I'm gonna be like doing practices with them and a lot, and just kind of like learning to play with the band because I haven't ever played
yeah.
with a band or anything. And then hopefully some smaller shows like around Nashville and stuff, just to kind of like ease my way into
Yeah.
the crowd thing.
Ooh, well, congratulations. I haven't gotten tickets to that yet, but there's a few shows I'm still trying to get tickets to. So maybe
Yes.
the Honey Pod might stop by to see the show and stuff.
Yes.
But I am so glad you got to talk with us today, and I really cannot wait to hear what you have in store for us, like in the future.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.